Welcome back to the annual Sports Booth Super Rugby Awards.
Second annual. Number two.
Obviously, you see me nicely dressed up again.
Yep.
We don't quite have the wine cellar or the whiskey bar behind us this time.
No, we've downsized this year. You know what? We consolidated. We're focusing on quality here. Reallocating our budget into other areas.
And that also included, obviously, getting Hughesy out of the fancy attire and into some rubbish bags as he's put on his wallaby.
Into vintage jerseys from a much happier time.
Today, though, it's all about Super Rugby Pacific. We wind back the clock a little bit. Yes, we are on the Rugby Championship, but Super Rugby Pacific is on our mind.
Yeah, absolutely. As it always is here on That Rugby podcast. We did this last year to, widespread acclaim. We did receive numerous media offers, but we've declined them to keep you. Independent sports media is a dying breed, and we decided to keep it alive or hold out for a better offer, whichever happens first. As such, though, we're going to continue with pretty much the same format as last year. A few little variations here and there, but mostly everything's the same. We've had a number of categories, and you, the Sports Booth fans, have voted on the results. So no bias can be claimed here by us. This is no vote. I voted online, same as any other regular member of the public.
We had our say, but we did not decide.
Yes, we had one vote. Exactly. We all collectively we decided. We all decided
as a group. Yes, as a Sports Booth group, we decided.
Exactly. Democracy in action.
Totally.
Yeah.
So, the awards, what we're going to go through, start off with the team of the year. So, basically, position by position. We let you decide who was the best player at that position. And then we'll go into specific awards. Before we're going to get to the end of the show, it will be New Zealand-based forward, Australian-based forward, New Zealand-based back, Australian-based back. Those four, or the big awards before we lead to the MVP one, which is currently being decided as we speak. There's still votes happening. So,
live updates.
Our MVP will be announced at the end of the show to round off that voting. Shall we get started, though, with the first award, which is starting with the big boys? Of course we are.
This is arguably the most important award, I would say. This is Loosehead Prop of the Year. Everyone likes to talk about, fly halves, and fullbacks, and wingers. This is where the real meat of rugby is decided. And, a good prop is just as valuable, if not more valuable, than a good winger, as the Springboks displayed on the weekend. So our nominees in this category are Ethan de Groot, Xavier Numia, James Slipper, and Matt Gibbon. Now, this one, the votes were pretty much in favour of just two candidates, right? But in the end, one of them ran away with this, probably the first time a prop has ever run away with anything in their life.
Other than a bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah. And the winner of Loosehead Prop, the Sports Booth Loosehead Prop Award of the Year goes to Ethan de Groot. Very nicely done. And James Slipper came in second position there. He got a decent number of votes, but at the end it was all one-way traffic.
Yes, it was. And Ethan de Groot takes that award.
See, the cops aren't happy about it.
They wanted to go to Slipper. We shall move on to hooker. So, in the number 2 jersey, we had Samasoni Takiaho, Tavita Kanavere, Lachlan Lonergan, and Dave Porecki. And this one was we were talking about runaways for props.
Yeah.
A hooker's run away with it as well.
Hookers run away a little bit more than props because, they get those little balls off the line out and things like that.
Definitely.
They're little shifty buggers. My brother Connie used to play hooker.
And that's exactly how we would describe them.
Yeah, little shifty buggers. So, although sometimes we forget the F. In the end, again, as we said, one-way traffic, run away. The winner for the Sports Booth Super Rugby Awards 2023 Hooker of the Year is Samasoni Takeaho. Very nice.
Absolutely. 80% of the votes was probably, I think it might have been the highest winning margin of any category.
Could very well be. Just a step above the competition this year. clearly. I mean, the other three candidates, all top quality candidates, but not good enough to get the chocolates in this case. Our next one, another great category, tight head prop. The bastards of the forward pack here. And another sort of four bastards of candidates. Alan Alatoa, Tyrell Lomax, Tamatai Williams, and Harry Johnson Holmes, a.k.a. Pub Ed Sheeran. This one was a little bit closer, right? There was some real good competition in this one, as there's some quite good front rowers in Super Rugby Pacific. But without further ado, the Sports Booth Super Rugby Awards 2023 Tight Head Prop of the Year is Tamatai Williams.
Big lad, huge lad, 144 kilos of beauty.
Insane.
Can't wait to see him in a black jersey.
Yeah.
Three awards down, Hughesy.
Yeah, 3 awards down.
Yet to see an Australian win one.
Look, it's not really that surprising considering how the competition shook out this year. You know, and I think as well the Sports Booth fan base probably skews a little more Wellington than Sydney, I'd say.
Yeah, I would agree. I would tend to agree. However, saying that, we'll move on to the next one because it may be an opportunity for you to take.
Well, this is definitely the beauty category right here. So lock of the year, right? And boy, have we got some beautiful faces here. We've got Nick Frost, Brody Frankenstein Retallick, Sam
Caveman Whitelock.
Oh, he looks like the fat guy from My Name Is Earl, but if he was really tall and skinny. And Jed Hairy Legs and Short Shorts Holloway. I don't know if you've seen that shot of him with the Wallabies. Oh, man. I mean, I love a hirsute man, but that was something else. Look, tighter voting on this one. But two, I think, pretty clear candidates for this one as for the winners. I think probably, though, the voting doesn't reflect the skill of these players. I think that all of these players are very, very good. And considering one of them, it's one of his two positions, Jed Holloway. He plays lock and plays 6 as well. So I think he's done very well to be considered in the top 4 of this award. We can reveal that the Sports Booth Super Rugby Awards 2023 first lock of the year is Frankenstein's monster, Brody Retallick. I mean, with a head like that, you got to give him something.
Yep, and he's jumped in the line out and he's taken that award off everyone else.
He definitely has. It was close between him and Sam Whitelock, but in the end, he snags it. I think Sam Whitelock will be happier with the championship, though.
I'd take that over it as well. On to the second lock, we have Jeremy Williams of the Western Force, Scott Barrett of the Crusaders, Tupavai of the Chiefs, and Josh Canham of the Rebels. Not so tight in these between these 4. The 2 Aussies probably feel a little bit let down with the voting, I must say, but the two Kiwis in this dominated. Yeah,
and one of them's got the benefit of having the last name Barrett, so that's going to get you some votes no matter what. People just see Barrett and click vote. And I've probably given it away here, but the Sports Booth Super Rugby 2023 Awards second lock of the year is Scott Barrett. It's Scott Barrett.
Scotty Barrett does the job.
With a hefty 69%.
And he enjoys that.
Yes. Can you imagine if you were that tall, trying to 69? Like,
I don't want to imagine, but I'm imagining.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's a logistical nightmare. That's all I'm going to say. He probably got to flex up. I don't know. We won't go into too much detail. It's a family-friendly podcast, but yeah, that is a logistical effort, or you're dating a netball player, something like that.
Blindside flanker now.
Yeah.
First nominee, Big Rob Valentini.
Big Bobby V.
Is this a chance for the Aussies to take an award?
Look, if there's a player to do it this year, it's Bobby V. And I'm gonna attempt to pronounce some of these names, which I'm going to be attempting to pronounce for the first time. So our nominees are Rob Valentini, Violini Ekuasi, Joseva Tamani, and Samapeni Finau.
And honestly, this is why we have him here.
Yeah.
This is why he's here. Delivers like that on first attempt. Enunciation
like nothing else.
Grammar Award of Super Rugby Pacific goes to you, Hughesy.
And the award for blindside flanker for the Sports Booth Super Rugby 2023 awards is, how could it be anyone else but Big Bobby V?
Bobby V, what a season, lad!
Yeah, Valentine's Day every day in his household.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
amazing.
it is. Honestly, runs a train.
Yeah,
runs a train.
Amazing, huge effort against the Springboks this last weekend as well. Motor that never quits, and a bright spot for a Wallaby squad in desperate need of one.
On to the sexy boys of the 4-pack.
Yeah.
If you look at these 4 lads compared to our locks, and you see some gold locks in the wind, you see some biceps, boy, you even see
some tripping of streakers.
So our open side flankers, our nominees are Michael Hooper, Billy Harmon, Sam Cane, and Hooper Jr.
Well,
aka Fraser McWright.
Look, that's fair enough. Yeah, but we'll see.
Potential's there.
Yeah, potential's there. Eddie, put him in the side this weekend. Now, this one's very interesting in terms of the voting. We actually have a tie here, and it's where I think the quality of the player really shows here that despite the fact that he didn't play a huge amount, I think maybe some nostalgia's come into it, but our 2 winners for the Sports Booth 2023 Super Rugby Pacific Awards are Michael Hooper and Sam Cane.
Two captains.
2 captains, 2 leaders. I was going to say inspirational leaders, but I don't know.
I don't know about Michael Hooper. I don't really know about that one.
I don't think Sam Cane's that inspirational. Michael Hooper's inspirational. I don't think anyone's inspired by Sam Cane. I think he leads by example. And he
do as he does, not as he do.
Yeah. Wow. You can see why I won the Grammar Award, people. See why I won the Grammar Award.
I will say 31% each of the vote, so it wasn't like either of them run away from it, because Billy Harmon got 20, Fraser McWright 18%.
Yeah.
Both of them ended up on 151 votes exactly. Yeah. So it wasn't like this was a large amount of votes going to 4 very good players, and 2 of them just couldn't be decided.
It's a very strong category. It's a very strong position in Super Rugby.
It is, my friend.
I'm going to let you have this one.
Shall we move on to number 8, where we have Artie Savia of the Hurricanes, Langy Gleeson from the Waratahs, Christian Leowille from the Crusaders, and Harry Wilson from the Reds.
A strong category again, but I mean, with how much Sports Booth posts about one of these players, I think if he had lost, you probably would have closed down the Instagram page.
Look, I expected him to win. There is no doubt about it. I expected him to win, but by this landslide, I never expected that in my life.
I have to say, I think there's definitely some bias going on in this one.
I think my love of this man has definitely affected our voters.
Look,
again, when I posted this, there was no bias. I never said anything ahead of time. The fans have just listened to what I've said.
Well, I mean, we don't need to really keep talking about it, but the winner of the Sports Booth Super Rugby Pacific 2023 number 8 of the year is Artie Savia.
Yes! Come on! Yes, Artie. Yes. 80% of the vote. All right. So
80% for number 8. There you go.
It works out well, doesn't it?
Poetic.
Shall we go on to scrum halves?
Yes. I think this is another good category here, and I think one of these players, who didn't win, maybe felt hard done by, and he's probably used to feeling hard done by, this guy. But our nominees are Cam Roygaard, Brad Weber, the rugby player Jake Gordon, and the Wallabies' next starting number 9, Tate McDermott, Eddie. Now, some great quality candidates here. I think this is one of our strongest categories because each of these players really shone this year. Like, I know, especially from watching a lot of Australian Super Rugby, Jakey Gordon and Tate McDermott really put it on this year. Really had a fantastic year. Over in New Zealand, I mean, the combination of Brad Weber and Damien McKenzie took the Chiefs to the finals, and his swan song, his final year for the Chiefs for Brad Weber, showed Chiefs fans what they'll be missing once he's gone. Cam Roigard, though, really, really helped the Hurricanes out a lot. Really probably elevated them and made them play better than they would have otherwise if he hadn't been there. And in the end, the votes for this one, someone came away with exactly 50% of the votes. So the winner of the Sports Booth 2023 Super Rugby Pacific Scrum Half of the Year is Cam Roigard.
Congratulations, Cam.
Yes.
I must say, I didn't expect this one.
No.
You put up awards, and you tend to know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know who's going to get the votes. I knew Slipper and Ethan de Groot were going to lead the loose head prop ones. I put this one up going like, look, Jake Gordon's, he's a rugby player.
Yeah.
But he's probably not going to win this. The other three, especially the way Tate McDermott ended the season, I think because of the disappointing Red season is probably why he's not. But Weber, I didn't think he'd win by a 22% point margin, but he has. He's had a fantastic season, earned himself an All Black jersey, and that's why.
Yeah. On to our next category, and I think this is the first category we've had 3 Kiwis in.
It is.
And this is fly half. So we've got Richie Mo'unga, Carter Gordon, Australia's next starting number 10, Eddie, Damien
McKenzie.
Damien, I'm trying to remember the other name. It's so funny because he's got a similar name. Damon Targaryen Mackenzie, right?
Yes.
I mean, look, that's a Targaryen motherfucker. If you ever seen one, that's a guy that keeps his bloodline pure by sleeping with his sister, or niece actually. I think it's niece of the show. Damien McKenzie and Bowden Barrett. So as we said, 3 Kiwis in this one. Probably no surprise. You look at the Australian number 10s. No one really stood out this year. You know, Noel Olasey, this was his year to really stamp himself a place in Australian rugby, and he just didn't. He ended up sort of becoming an afterthought for the Brumbies as well. Carter Gordon, though, had a amazing season. Really put his name out there. But still, you could see the quality of the New Zealand fly halves, and that's the way the voting swung. I will say, though, Carter Gordon did get more votes than Bowden Barrett.
Our MVP from last year, Carter Gordon beat out in the voting. So, congratulations to Carter. That's a massive step. That's
a huge
not
feat.
Something to be,
sniffed at.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. But the winner of the Sports Booth 2023 Super Rugby Pacific Fly Half of the Year is Damien McKenzie, and that damn smile. That is where the trouble began. That's where we should have known, right at the start of the year. Is that smile?
That smile. I think when we predicted the MVPs, I don't know, I can't even remember, when we did it at the start of the season, I think you went Geordie Barrett.
Yeah.
And I went Richie Mo'unga. Both proven wrong by Damien McKenzie, who didn't even come into our thoughts.
You said at the start of the year, you said if any team is going to make you look like an idiot this year, it's the Chiefs. We always underestimate them. We did it last year, and we definitely did it this year.
To right. On to the wingers, the quick boys, Lester Whanganuku, Corey Toole, Monty Ioane, Caleb Clark.
Sorry, you said what?
Monty Ioane.
Yeah, Monte Ioane.
Obviously Italian representative Monte Ioane from the Rebels, yes. Look, 4 very good wingers, I would say, and one of them has run away with it. I
mean, that's what wingers do. And I think this one, again, probably comes down to where the team finished rather than necessarily... he's a fantastic player, don't get me wrong.
Totally.
But I think the votes probably should have been a little bit more even on this one, because I think all 4 wingers had fantastic years.
I will say the player that comes second, I think the injury at the back end of the season affected this voting, because
100%.
there is some
Not
recency bias in this voting. So, without further ado, our first winger and first award for a winger in the Super Rugby Pacific Sports Booth Awards goes to Lester Whanganuku.
Yeah, very well deserved. Fantastic year. I would have picked him for winner anyway, but I think with 67% of the votes, probably too high a percentage of the votes, with Corey Toole only getting 15% in second place, probably deserved a little bit more, but there's only 100% to go around.
Exactly.
Not everyone can get a huge number.
Quick math.
And, there's not enough room for Corey there. And I think you're right. The injury definitely played.
I definitely think, if you look back, you go, Corey Toole had a good season, and that's what 15% shows.
Yeah.
But I think he actually had a great season, and I think he deserved at least 25 to 30.
He transitioned into Super Rugby.
Exactly.
fantastically.
Yeah.
All right, second winger time, and we've got some great candidates on this one. Why don't you run us through them?
Yes, to start off from the Blues, it's three New Zealand wingers again. Mark Talia, three New Zealand players. Mark Talia from the Blues, Julian the Bus Savia from the Hurricanes, Imoni Nawai from the Chiefs, and finally Mark Nawanga Nitawase from the Waratahs.
Yes, incredible talent here. Voting a little bit more even here between two players, but again, I think a couple of these players probably could have deserved more votes, especially in a season when Julian Savia, he broke the record this year, didn't he, for most tries in Super Rugby, has come bottom of the voting here.
Yes.
Mark, a really great year from him. Had to play some of it out of position due to injuries on the Waratahs, and in an overall disappointing Waratahs side, was a standout player, and he should be on the wing this week. Eddie, I don't want to see Suliasi Vunivalu anywhere near a Wallabies team ever again unless he miraculously learns how to defend. I'm warning you. But the winner for the second winger of the Sports Booth 2023 Super Rugby Pacific Winger of the Year is Mark Talia. Amazing season for the Blues.
Yeah, one hell of a season, and him and Nadawai really ran away with it, and deservedly so. Mm-hmm. Those two were up there. Both had fantastic seasons. On to the centres, and we're starting with the inside centre, second five for all of you New Zealanders out there. This was the hardest one for me to pull players together because there weren't a lot of standouts in the inside centre position. So our nominees were Thomas Umanga Jensen from the Highlanders, David Havili from the Crusaders, Geordie Barrett from the Hurricanes, and Lalakai Fekete from the Waratahs.
Yeah, speaking here from a Waratahs perspective, Fekete, similar to Corey Toole, lost a bit of time to injury as well, and so I think that definitely affected his voting, but close to the Waratahs' best player this year, I think. Like he was
he played, he was outstanding.
He was really good this year, and I think if he was healthy, he would have played against the Springboks this week, over starting Reece Hodge at inside centre.
But the best ability
is availability.
There it is.
But we can reveal that the winner of the Sports Booth 2023 Super Rugby Pacific Inside Centre of the Year is Geordie Barrett. Another Barrett takes an award.
Yep.
How about that? Bowden Barrett, the only Barrett not to win an award. How about that?
Yeah, surprising. Very surprising.
Yeah.
Onto the outside centre, the centre, just for New Zealanders out there. We have 4 nominees, and 2 come from our island teams, which is quite. There's the centre pool wasn't fantastic, and leaving Rico Ioane off this was really hard.
Yeah,
but the players I put in there, I thought had the best seasons out of these 4. So, Isefo Musi is the first one from the Juda, Levi Amor from Moana Pacifica, Billy Proctor from the Hurricanes, and Len Ikitau from the Brumbies.
And a very tight spread of votes on this one. Reflective of how well these guys played. I don't really have too much to say about this, so I'm just going to go straight into the winner of the Sports Booth 2023 Super Rugby Pacific Outside Centre of the Year is Levi Amor.
Moana Pacifica, they may come last, but they don't leave it the season empty-handed.
And he is personally rewarded by a nice new contract at the Crusaders.
Yep, an upgrade.
Right, fullback of the year. I think this one's not going to come as a shock to anyone. I think this is probably our clearest cut category. Not the highest percentage of votes. I think that was still is Artie Savia, but I think probably the most clear, the most obvious choice here. So our nominees were Max Jorgensen, Tom Wright, Chase Tiatia, and Sean Stevenson. And yeah, as we said, one player has just stormed away with this one. So the winner of the Sports Booth 2023 Super Rugby Pacific Fullback of the Year is Sean Stevenson. Fantastic season, I think. Max Jorgensen had a great season. but a rookie and missed a decent amount of time with injury. Spent some time on the wing as well. Tom Wright, he's not a fullback. He's a winger. He might be a fullback for the Brumbies, and that, I guess that's what we're going to judge it on. But for me, he's not a fullback. And then, Sean Stevenson, just absolutely phenomenal season. He and Damian McKenzie really obviously standing out huge for the Chiefs.
Totally, yeah. It was hard to put a competitor up against Sean Stevenson. That is our Team of the Year awards, position-specific awards.
So let me do a quick recap here of our Team of the Year. So, prop, Ethan de Groot. Hooker, Samasoni Takiaho. Prop, Tamatai Williams. Lock, Brody Retallick. Lock, Scott Barrett. Blindside flanker, Rob Valentini. Open side flanker, the love child of Michael Hooper and Sam Cane. Number 8, Artie Savia. Scrum half, Cam Roygard. Fly half, Damian McKenzie. Wing, Lester Fainganuku. Wing, Mark Talia. Inside centre, Geordie Barrett. Outside centre, Levi Omoa. Fullback, Sean Stevenson. What a squad. What a squad. Take a bow, gentlemen. Take a bow. You'll get your ceremonial medals as soon as the ceremony's over.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Alright, welcome back to the second half of... I'm going to put some random ad clip in there. I don't know what I'm going to put in there.
Yeah.
But who should we be sponsored by?
Rugby 08.
Rugby
EA
08?
Sports.
EA Sports with Rugby 08 will sponsor us.
Yep.
The second part of our awards night, as we go into specific awards now, so no longer are we discussing position-based, but depending on what they are, maybe a Coach of the Year, Rookie of the Year, we know are in there. Fortress of the Year is the first time we're running that award, so excited for that, to see that. But we will kick off with our young Rookies of the Year. Now, I want to clarify a rookie and how we came about this. We went the NRL style. I think it was less than 5 games. I judged it. If you played less than 5 Super Rugby games before this year, we were counting you as a rookie.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So our nominees for this award were Max Jorgensen from the Waratahs, obviously. Christian Leo Willie, who had played 2 free games for the Highlanders before this year, but this year was a Crusader. Tom Lina from the Queensland Reds, and Iosefa Masi from the Fijian Dura.
Mm-hmm. Some great candidates here. Max Jorgensen had every Waratah on the edge of their seat every time he touched the ball, basically.
Totally. But saying all of that, Maxi only came in second. Mm-hmm. So our winner of Rookie of the Year for the Super Rugby Pacific 2023 is Christian Leo Willie. Big Crusader really stood out towards the end there.
Yeah, and probably a bit of results-based bias in there as well. But, if you contribute to a championship-winning team, you get awards.
Totally. 48% he took out the winning with that. Coach of the Year, my friend.
Yes, some great nominees here. Clayton McMillan, Scott Robinson.
Looking for back-to-back Coach of the Year awards.
Mm-hmm. Mick Byrne and Stephen Larkham, who had a fantastic campaign. Everyone wondered how he was going to follow up Dan McKellar, and he did so admirably, I thought, for a first-year head coach. Got
them straight back to where they finished.
Yeah.
Without further ado, though, he's done it again.
Yeah.
It's Razor, Scott Robinson.
It's the year of Razor. It really is.
He's coming in, going to take over the All Blacks. He is the Coach of the Year, and ran away with it in the end, 65%, and bet Clayton McMillan, who was second in 21%. On to the Try of the Year, where we decide who scored the best try. Now, the nominees were Iosefa Masi versus Moana, a very good individual effort. Lesia Whanganuku with a absolutely stellar try against the Blues. Whakatava's game-winning try against the Reds to keep the Highlanders' hopes alive. And then in that same game, the Reds versus the Highlanders, the Reds length of the field try. Now, I'm going to start off because I checked these votings throughout the day. The Reds versus the Highlanders shot out to a massive lead early, and I said, show is over. Yeah. Then Whakatava versus the Reds pulled them back in, and they were about 30% each before I didn't check back until we have the results now.
Yes, and the winner of the Super Rugby, of the Sports with 2023 Super Rugby Pacific Try of the Year is Leicester Whanganui versus the Blues. Red versus blue, doesn't get much better than that.
Crusaders, Canterbury versus Auckland, it was made to be. So yes, he came back and won it with 38%.
Yeah, another exciting category, the next one, a personal favourite of mine, the upset of the year. I love a good upset because it's what makes sports. It's the thrill. It's the any given Sunday vibe, or the any given Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. It's you can never predict what's going to happen. And in these games, I don't think anyone could have predicted what happened, except for, well, I think two of these games we probably could have predicted what would happen. So our nominees were the Dura beating the Crusaders, the Reds beating the Chiefs in Hamilton, the Dura beating the Hurricanes, and Moana Pacifica versus the Waratahs. Now, I say when two of these games we probably could have predicted, these were the two lowest votes getters, because the Dura versus the Hurricanes, a very classic Hurricanes thing to do. Very classic Hurricanes thing. You were the first team to lose to Moana Pacifica, weren't you?
Yes.
So you guys, you're the nice guys of Super Rugby. You love giving the little guys a chance.
We do.
And I respect that a lot.
Yeah, thank you.
And then Moana Pacifica versus the Waratahs. I mean, of course, this was going to happen. This is Michael Hooper's final game, right? And
he could only be let down one more time.
But it was also he'd seen what the Hurricanes had done for Moana Pacifica, given their first win. Moana Pacifica didn't have a win this year, right? And Michael Hooper said, "This is my chance to do something bigger than myself. We need to keep Moana Pacifica alive. We need to encourage rugby in these Pacific Island nations. If they go a whole season without winning a game, they're going to fold. They're going to collapse. We need to do something better than that." So in my final game, the biggest gift I can give rugby is a win to Moana Pacifica, and that's what he did.
Oh, Michael Hooper.
I love the man.
What a
love
guy.
the man. That being said, it didn't win this award. The winner of the Sports Booth 2023 Super Rugby Pacific Upset of the Year was, how could it be anything else? The Dura beating the Crusaders. Fiji. In Fortress Suva.
Beating the Crusaders, who became champions.
Yeah, so if you take the logic from that, the Dura beat the Crusaders. The Dura are the real champions here. Is what it
have to be.
They beat the Crusaders first, and in the best of two series, the first winner takes the cup, as far as I'm concerned. So Dura win.
Totally agree.
Dura Super Rugby Pacific champions. Heard it here first.
Shall we move on to the next one?
Another great award.
As great as Michael Hooper and as nice of a guy as he was, the nicest bloke.
Yeah, the Oscar Alcock Super Sports Booth nicest bloke of the year award. 4 great nominees here. We've got two Waratahs here actually, which just shows what a lovely team we are. Jake, the rugby player Gordon, lovely bloke. Angus Bell, hero. James Blackwell, nicest bloke in rugby. And then Tavita Ikanivera, nicest guy in Fiji. So that's the reports that I'm getting here. Now this is a very, very interesting one. I'm going to go right ahead into the result, and then we can discuss. The winner of the Sports Booth 2023 Super Rugby Pacific Nicest Bloke of the Year is Tavita Ikanivera.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
What a
James
nice guy.
Blackwell dethroned.
Angus Bell in there.
Yeah.
I was stunned.
Voting was tight with Bell and Blackwell.
Yep.
Just very tight, as you know, they're both super nice guys, but Ikanivera, in a not so nice guy move, blew the competition out of the water with a 20% margin.
And that's what I'm starting to think. Maybe Blackwell and Angus Bell, and Bell
gave their votes. Yeah.
Came together, saw our votes going around on social, sent it around and said, chuck a vote in for Tavita.
Yeah.
Do it.
You know, Michael Hooper would have been whispering his ear, we need to help these guys out. We need to help out Fiji. We need to help
another award for Pacifica Brothers.
Yeah.
So Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But
who knows?
Tonight it is Tavita's award.
Yeah, it's his moment, and that leads us into our next award, the moment of the year. We've got 4 quality moments here. The Fijian Dura qualifying for the finals in their second season. Incredible. Michael Hooper leaving Super Rugby. The Chiefs going on their undefeated run for most of the season until they ran into the indomitable 1 or 2 weeks Queensland Reds. And then the fourth moment, is that Reds upset of the Chiefs in New Zealand. So very tight voting around this one. Very, very close. I can imagine it went back and forward for a while. But in the end, the Sports Booth 2023 Super Rugby Pacific Award for Moment of the Year goes to the Fijian Dura qualifying for the finals. Excellent work.
Dura absolutely just taking these awards by storm.
Yeah, I mean, they took the competition by storm this year. They showed everyone what they're made of, and they're a team on the rise.
Totally. On to the next award, which is kind of our one. We like to highlight positives in this award ceremony, but sometimes you got to look back and go, what disappointed you? And this is our biggest disappointment award for the 2023 season. The nominees were the Force, who right up into the last game of the season had a chance to make the finals but blew it.
Yep.
The Rebels in any second half performance. Yep. The Reds and Moana Pacifica.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think fans of all 4 of these teams would probably be pretty disappointed with their seasons. I think, well, except for maybe the Reds. I think they'd be feeling pretty thankful they managed to get to the finals after some of their results this year.
But see, I think that's where the disappointment comes in, because this Red team shouldn't be thankful for making the finals.
Yeah.
Like, they should be pushing the finals
100%.
every year. So I think that's where the disappointment comes in, is that, yes, we made the finals, but are we happy just to make the finals?
Exactly. Well, in the end, the results came close between 2 of these, and the winner, I guess, of the Sports Booth 2023 Super Rugby Pacific Disappointment of the Year was the Moana Pacifica season. Look, only the one win, the Hooper's gift, Hooper's last command, you could say. But yeah, look, I think next year's going to be a better year for them. I think they're learning to develop. They've had further to go than the Fijian Dura. Like, the Dura were already established somewhat as a club. They already had some structure, whereas Moana Pacifica is being literally built from the ground up in the highest level of competition with a lot of players with not a lot of experience. So I think and they were damn good in some of those games. They were damn good and damn close. Totally. This is probably the one award that I disagree with, to be quite honest. I think the Red season was by far more disappointing than the Moana Pacifica one. Because what you said before perfectly encapsulates it. This is the Queensland Reds who've won a title before, who were top of the Aussie competition not but 2 years ago. Or 3 years ago.
I totally see what you're saying. I think the only reason that they've won this award is I actually went in this season with higher expectations for them. Like, I went in like they won a couple of games, they're competitive, they can shock some teams, and they just continuously didn't shock teams, and it was just some of their performances. Last year was arguably tougher for them with COVID. They had back-to-back games. They were playing like a Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday. I think they played 3 games in 8 days and put out a better performance in this season. So I think that's where the disappointment lies. But I understand what you're saying. I thought the Reds were going to take it. I actually think the biggest disappointment was the Rebels second half, but that's just me.
Yeah, well, that's why we have voting.
Exactly.
And in the end, the people have spoken. On to our next award, the Fortress of the Year, a new award for the Sports Booth, inspired by our Fijian brethren. And Suva is one of the nominees, along with Perth, Christchurch, and Canberra. All 4 extremely tough locations to play this year. So,
yes, I worked out of all of the games played here, 3 losses at all of these venues all up. God. And that included, I think it was 16 games. So it was, they were 13 and 3 or something like that, 14 and 3 out of their 17 games. I think it was 17. So tough places to go play, no doubt about that.
100%. And the winner of the Sports Booth 2023 Super Rugby Pacific Fortress of the Year Award goes to Christchurch.
Christchurch. You fucking idiots. Yeah. I don't often say this, but Suva was the only one that hadn't lost a game.
Yeah.
I set this award up for Suva to win.
So it's bias.
Do we make an executive decision?
I don't think we can. We said this is a democratic process. We're not going to abuse democracy here. We're neither of us president and prime minister. We don't have executive power.
No, we don't. You're correct. You are correct. I've gotten angry. I got upset, fans. I did. I saw that you didn't vote for Suva, and I got upset.
Yeah, look, that's why we have checks and balances. Right?
Exactly.
That's why there's two of us. That's why this is not.
If it was me, Suva would have already won. I don't even know. I wouldn't even put the vote out. But thank you for voting, and congratulations to Christchurch. Yay! Yeah. Christchurch sucks, and they needed it. That's why.
Another undeserved award for the Crusaders.
All right, on to the big boy awards, though. So now we move on to our forward and back for an Aussie-based team and a New Zealand-based team, and then we will get into our MVP.
Our MVP, we could check the tally. But our nominees for Aussie-based forward are Tavita Ikanavera, maybe he could win a second award. Bobby V, also in line for a second award. James Slipper and Fraser McRae.
It was tough.
It's big
a tough award, but one man stood among the rest and said, "This is my award."
He stood head and shoulders above the rest, and that's actually who sponsors him with hair like that. The winner of the Sports Booth 2023 Super Rugby Pacific Aussie-based Forward of the Year, Rob Valentini.
Yes, big Rob.
Very nice, very nice.
Runs like a train, big Rob.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
You sure not a closet Brumbies fan?
No, because they fucking knocked out my Hurricanes. So I love Rob Valentini. He plays like every rugby player, every Polynesian rugby player should play. Mm-hmm. On to the New Zealand-based forward.
He hits you like a hurricane, you could say.
I enjoyed our time together, and
well, this next one will make you feel better because now we're looking at New Zealand players, or New Zealand-based players, I should say. So New Zealand-based forward of the year, we had Tamatai Williams, Luke's boyfriend, Tupavai. Sorry, that's Artie Sevilla for anyone unsure, which would be
love you.
No one. So Tupavai and Samasoni Takeaho. Some great candidates here. Some great candidates here. Two Chiefs deserved to be here. A few players, potential for a couple players here to win their second award of the year. Going home with some serious hardware. Someone potentially here. Now, I can see who's won, but I'm going to announce the award, and then I want you to talk me through why you think they're deserving this award. So, the Sports Booth 2023 Super Rugby Pacific New Zealand-based forward of the year is, the vote was rigged, Artie Savia.
Come on! Yes! Look. I, again, put this up. Didn't know it was going to go this way. Yeah. Thought would be here talking. I actually thought Tamatai Williams was going to win this. Mm-hmm. I didn't think Artie would win this. But Artie's here. He's done it, Even with some controversy. He'll slip throats and he'll still win awards.
Yeah.
So, there's nothing much more to say than Artie Savia, potentially the greatest player of all time.
He murdered the competition, that's for sure. With 64% of the vote.
Shall we move on to our second closest vote?
Yes. It'd be, if there hadn't been a tie, this would have been the closest vote for sure. This is Aussie-based back. Our nominees were Carter Gordon, Tom Wright, Yosefo Marcy, and Corey Toole.
Nice.
I needed just a second.
You got it. You got there in the end.
Look, for my mind, there were two standouts here, but one of them was not one of the higher vote getters. So for me, the standouts in this bunch were Carter Gordon and Corey Toole. I really thought they both had cracking years. I thought they'd done really, really well. I actually probably wouldn't have even put Tom Wright in this vote. I would have gone for Lalakai Feketi or Nwangani Tawase, but again, that might be my bias. Tom Wright did have a good season.
I would say the voting tells me that the person I put in there was right. But I am shocked by the results as well.
Yeah. So the winner of the Sports Booth 2023 Super Rugby Pacific Aussie-based back of the year is Carter Gordon. A fantastic season for the young man from the Melbourne Rebels. But only 2% between Carter Gordon and Tom Wright, 38% to 36%. I'm very surprised by the Tom Wright one. But I think he is one of those players, maybe like a Suliasi Vunivalu, and like a couple of other players we've seen before, that they excel at the Super Rugby level but can't quite translate it to a Wallaby level. And maybe that's affecting me and my bias here.
I think he's every time he's put on a winger jersey for the Wallabies, he's performed admirably, like never disappointed. Every time he's put on a fullback jersey, it hasn't gone to his plan, as he does when he goes for the Brumbies. I understand.
I wouldn't mind seeing him on the wing. I wouldn't. Yeah, Tom Wright could play for the Wallabies on the wing. I mean, personally, I prefer to see Nwangani Tawase, but I'm a Waratahs fan, so of course that's gonna be my feeling. Now, New Zealand-based back of the year, heavyweight contenders here. We've got Mark Talia, Sean Stevenson, Richie Mwanga, and Damien McKenzie, right? Now, I believe 3 out of 4 here are previous award winners. The only one that I think is not previous award winner is Richie Mwanga. I don't think he's won.
Correct, he didn't win the first one.
But the other 3 have all won awards this year, so a very high likelihood that someone's going home with another piece of hardware.
Well, you understand, like, if they've won their position, there's a very good chance they're going to end up in these.
Yes, I do. But I'm just saying it's a great achievement for these players.
Because like Rob's won 2 awards, Artie's won 2 awards, now Carter Gordon's won. Oh no, Carter Gordon's only won 1.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Right, there you go.
And I'm also trying to play up the achievements of these players so they can feel better about themselves.
I see.
Because they definitely watch this, and also there's a special deal that if you win 2 Sports Booth 2023 Super Rugby Pacific Awards of the Year, you get a $15 voucher at Subway. So
exactly. So
just go up to any Subway and say that you've won 2
awards from the Sports Booth.
Code Bowdy 2023. But the winner for the Super Rugby Pacific the Sports Booth 2023 Super Rugby Pacific New Zealand-based back of the year is the man who smiles, drops pants, Damien McKenzie. Absolutely. Drops pants and drops points, Amazing season from DMAC.
All right. It is that time of the evening.
Now, this is the one vote I don't know. I do know. I think, maybe. I'm not sure. It depends if you've updated with the latest results of voting or not. I do know the nominees. So the nominees for our final award, MVP, the Sports Booth MVP of the year, are Carter Gordon, Artie Savia, Rob Valentini, and Damien McKenzie.
Yes, very, very much so. All 4 had fantastic seasons. I'm going to say this so I'm going to get a separate award out of the way. Just before we name our MVP, the 2 New Zealand players have run away with it.
Yeah.
So the award for the Australian Super Rugby Pacific Player of the Year goes to Carter Gordon.
Yeah.
So can we just sit here a moment, taking the mullets, taking the journey that Carter Gordon's gone on. The Rebels didn't even make the playoffs, and we're sitting here talking about how good of a season he had.
Imagine how the Rebels are going to look next season with some of their buys.
Exactly. If he can continue on the trajectory, if he can grow like he has this season into next season, I mean, we could be sitting here talking about a Carter Gordon MVP.
We could be. I really hope we do. Even if he is a Rebels player, even if he is from the worst city in Australia, Melbourne.
Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous. I haven't felt this nervous of an Australian first 5 for a very long time. But saying that, getting into the MVP talk, we are now between Artie Savia and Damien McKenzie. And your MVP for 2023 as the award season wraps up. We should have known from that damn smile. Damien McKenzie gets the win. 3 awards from him tonight. He may just get a 50% off Subway.
Yeah, 35%.
35. Oh, yeah, let's crazy.
We don't have a huge budget. David McKenzie, look, from early in the season when he pulled that smile out, I just thought there's someone special.
Yeah.
There's someone special. And he's going to have a special year, and he did indeed have a special year. Looking to continue his special year with the All Blacks. I think Richie's going to have a hard time displacing him from that 10 jersey.
Yeah, I mean, what we've found out from this being our second annual awards now, number 10's an important position.
Yeah.
Back-to-back MVPs from number 10. Mm-hmm. back-to-back coaches of the year from Razor. No Razor in the comp next year, so we'll get a new coach of the year.
Rob Penny, coach of the year 2024.
You never know. Could happen. But, yeah, 2 back-to-back MVPs. The Australian Player of the Year this year as a 10. 10 is a defining position and will make your season tick over.
Mm-hmm.
So, to all those teams out there that struggled, didn't win awards, actually, I think maybe every team, the Western Force may have not got an award.
Western Force didn't get an award.
The Highlanders did. Mine Pacific did. Yeah, I think everyone else.
Reds? Did they get it?
No, they didn't. No Reds awards. They missed out on the disappointment one, which probably
Also disappointing.
also disappointing. So, yeah, look, it's going to come down to the number 10 jersey. It always is. It always has been. Rugby may be played as the forwards, but the 10s win the awards.
Yeah, that's the way of it. We've accepted it. We know it. We know that, without us, 10s would just be pretty boys hanging out the back, never getting the ball. That's what happened with Craig Cooper on the weekend. The forwards were not up to scratch, and Craig Cooper couldn't put his mark in the game. So 10s need us. Much like you look at the outside of a car, you look at the chassis, and you think, oh, that's a nice-looking car. Doesn't matter if there's no engine.
Totally. They are the engine. On that note, we will leave you, if you're watching this on YouTube, with probably a highlight reel from Damien McKenzie.
It's all smiles. He's
just
him
smiles and kicks. And thank you for joining us on the Sports Booth annual Super Rugby Pacific Awards. Yep. We will be back again next year with another award show. For now, we do say goodbye. My name has been Luke from the Sports Booth. He has been Husey. We will see you sometime soon.
Peace.